By the end of this video, you will know how to prepare and show your rabbits. We will go over the timeline of sending in your entry to what to do on the day of the show. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is hop on arba.net to find a show. From the homepage, click Member Resources, Shows, then click Find a Show. To find your district, you can scroll through this top banner. It will show you the states and places for each district. I currently reside in District 1, so for this tutorial, we will check out their shows. Scroll down the shows and see which possible shows you would like to go to. Once you find one, it will list the club hosting the show's address, and information to contact the show secretary. Email the show secretary for the show catalog. The catalog will tell you all the details of the show. It will list the show judges, the judging schedule, where to send your entries, and the deadlines. Be sure to remember the names of the show secretary and any other members of the committee. These will be the people to find if you have any questions. Most rabbit people are more than willing to help, so always ask if you have a question. It is absolutely vital that any animal you take off your property is in optimum health. You're going to want to see an animal that has a clear nose, eye, and ear, and you're going to want to make sure that they are free of any injuries or DQs. If you have a sick animal, please stay home. It is not worth risking your rabbitry or anyone else's hard work. The Standard of Perfection is a must-have resource for anyone who wants to be successful while showing rabbits. There is also another requirement that the animal must be tattooed in the left ear. This is the 2021 to 2025 American Rabbit Breeders Association Standard of Perfection. This book includes a glossary, condition standard, how they judge meat pens, body type profiles, and lists all the breeds of rabbits with their corresponding page numbers. You can buy this book at the ARBA store on their website. I personally prefer to email my entry. To do this, you'll want to put the show name in the subject line. For this entry, I'll start by indicating that I'll be showing rabbits, since some shows also host KVs, and include if you are showing in youth or open class. Start off with the exhibitor's name, home address, city, state, and zip code, phone number, and email address. Continue to list each of your entries starting with ear tag or tattoo, breed, variety, and class. If you have a buck or a doe, and the number of shows to be entered in. The catalog will include if there are any specialty shows for your breed. With this information, you can make a show budget and know how many animals you can take. This way, you only take your best animals. Now that we've sent off our entry, the show secretary will enter our info into their system and send us a confirmation sheet. You'll need to go through this with a fine-tooth comb and make sure every data entry is correct. If everything is correct, it's time to start preparing your rabbits. You'll want to handle your rabbits to reduce stress on you, your animal, and the judge. I like to take the animal out of their cage and pose them as the judge would. I then inspect for color, health, and fur quality. I flip the rabbit over, check the teeth for malocclusion, look for any disqualifications for the breed, and I check that is either a buck or a doe, and if the tail is straight. Let the animal relax while being flipped. You want them to be as calm as possible when the judge is handling them. The more you practice, the better. We really want our animals to be the least amount of stress. They'll be a little bit stressed with all of this handling and the bustle, but that's the side effect of showing rabbits. But if you get them used to being exposed to stressful situations but know how to handle it calmly, they'll know that they'll be okay in the end and that this is a very quick process. To stay organized, I make a list of each animal I plan to take and if they need any special grooming, starting with trimming their nails. Be sure to have something handy in case you cut it too short. I like to use Quick Stop on a Q-tip or a cotton ball. Clean ears and check that the tattoo is legible. If the judge can't read it, you can be removed from the class. If you are sensitive to smells, I highly recommend wearing nitrile gloves for this next part. Take a moist baby wipe and clean out the yellow nasties. Be sure to do this a week before the show so the smell is gone. I then spray water on my hands and back brush the coat to access the dead coat underneath. Then my favorite part, show sheen.
I spray a bit while the coat is still backbrushed and then smooth the coat, and then the baby is done.
Once you're done grooming, give them a little snack and let them chill. I like to start grooming every week a month before a show, and then a day before. Your grooming schedule may be more or less depending on your breed.
The first thing I do is make sure all my carriers are clean, disinfected, and set up for the rabbits. It is vital that your carrier is large enough for your breed of rabbit. They need to be able to turn around and lie down comfortably. If going to an overnight show or a weekend-long show, give them more than enough space. And if your animal is prone to sore hocks and you want them to be more comfortable, use a cage mat. These can be found on Amazon, All Things Bunnies, or KW Cages. And if you're heading to a show in warmer weather, consider getting a fan for your carriers.
For the bottom of my carriers, I like to use puppy pads instead of shavings. This cuts down on risk of RHD and makes cleanup so much easier. If you go to overnight shows or weekend shows, you can also put an extra puppy pad underneath so you can change it while you're at the show. So when it comes time to cleaning my carriers at the show, I like to put a pad underneath the animals on the cart. This way they are up off the ground and not making a mess on the show floor. And then take this, put it on top. It's a great table. You're going to take each corner, fold it in. Once you're done, you can throw away the bag into the garbage. And then you can use the pad that's underneath the animals right now to go back into the carrier. Now, if you have an extra naughty animal that likes to chew on things, you're going to want to fold all of these down. And you want to make sure that you're not blocking any part of the absorbent. And then you go ahead and move them over. You put the pad in, and then you put the animals right back into their carrier and lock them in. Now that the carrier is completely clean, you can add cups and you are ready to go to the show.
If you are enjoying this video, please consider giving a like and subscribing to the channel. This lets me know that the video is a helpful resource to you. Only overpack the essentials. Nothing is worse than having an emergency and having to hunt it down in a random store that you might come across. Keyword, might. I also like to pack 2 of certain things, such as portable chargers, a change of clothes, and double the amount of hay, water, and grain. That way you are prepared for anything that might come your way. A super useful tool is this cart. It's from Harbor Freight and Collapse for easier transport. And it comes in handy when you're running between tables and don't have enough hands for rabbits. I also like to have a grooming table, a chair for each human, and a garbage bag for messes and dirty puppy pads.
A thing to keep in mind is a meal for the humans. You'll want to take a full day's worth of meals or just take snacks and support local restaurants. You can also utilize food delivery services if you can't leave the showgrounds.
Consider making a donation to the raffle or concession. If there is a way to support a local club or the club that is putting on the show, absolutely do it.
If possible, pack everything the day before you leave, except for the rabbits. This way, you don't feel rushed and risk forgetting something important. Unfortunately, with traveling, there are risks and factors that you cannot control. Make sure that the carriers cannot slide or fly around in the back of your car. Either use bungee cords or pack them in a way so they are safe and secure. Airflow is absolute key, so if you can crack a window in your car, please do so. It will cut down on the pneumonia smell for you and the rabbits. On the morning of the show, leave earlier than you think. Car crashes and traffic happen, so have your car gassed up and ready to go.
Once you get to the show, you'll need to locate the show secretary, pay your fees, and check in. Sometimes you'll get a check-in sheet, which is confirming that the secretary has the correct information for your entries. Once you're all checked in, you are ready to unload your animals and set up your space. I prefer to find a space in the middle of all the rabbit tables and can hear the classes being called. When it gets closer to showtime, the show committee will post judges lists, which state the breeds being judged at that table and how many animals per breed.
So for the example today, I'm going to be using a silver fox class. It goes senior bucks, intermediate bucks, junior bucks. That is followed by senior does, intermediate does, and then junior does.
If you have a question on where your animal should go, find the table rider. They will be the ones assisting the judge during the class. When your animal is placed in their coop, the judge will take them out and look them over. They will compare them to the breed standard and check for any disqualifications. After the judge has had a chance to examine each animal in the class, they will place them from last to first. The first place animal for each of those classes will then advance to best of variety and best opposite variety. These two animals who win will advance to compete in best of breed against the other varieties for best of breed and best opposite. Opposite sex is awarded to the second best animal of that class, which is the opposite sex of the winner. For example, if a buck wins best of variety, a doe will win best opposite, and vice versa. Some shows give out flat ribbons for first through third, and even give out incredible rosettes and awards.
If you have a question, don't be afraid to ask the judge. They are more than willing to help and answer any questions you might have. But don't interrupt while they're judging the class. If you have a question about a specific comment they made about your animal during the class, wait after till they award best of breed, and then they'll be free.
From there, the best of breed winner will have the coveted opportunity to represent their breed on the best in show table. Out of all of the animals shown, only 2 will get the top prizes, best and reserve in show. Did you read the show rules? If not, you need to. Some shows are very strict on their rules, so make sure you know them. Bring your manners in a notebook, keep messes cleaned up, and have your space organized. My favorite part about going to shows is seeing all the different breeds that are recognized by the American Rabbit Breeders Association. So if you have time, ask different breeders about the animals they are raising. Most are more than happy to share what they know about their breeds and help you get started. You do not have to be a member to show at an ARBA sanctioned event, but if you would like to become a member, you gain access to so many perks, such as the Domestic Rabbits magazine, a wealth of knowledge to be shared, and lifelong friendships.
And remember, you are more than capable of creating abundance for you, your family, and your community. And until next time, be weird and be you.